A little over 15 years ago, when the so-called new atheists were really starting to find their stride, an event was planned, and the people who participated in this event, in this conversation for the public, were eventually called the Four Horsemen of New Atheism. These people were Richard Dawkins, Christopher Hitchens, Sam Harris, and Daniel Dennett. But did you know that the fifth horseman, or I should say the fourth horseman, was almost Ayaan Hirsi Ali? According to atheist legend, she was apparently supposed to be the fourth horseman in that conversation, but for some reason she couldn't or didn't make it, and so Daniel Dennett instead became the fourth horseman of New Atheism. Ali is an ex-Muslim and has spoken against Islamism extensively. This is why she fit in so well with the likes of Richard Dawkins and Sam Harris. She has worked with conservative media outlets many times throughout her career, and it seems more so the longer her career has gone on. One of the reasons for this that people give is that left-leaning or just center media outlets don't like to platform people who speak against Islam in any way because they see that as potentially platforming Islamophobia, something they're not wont to do. Recently, there's been a big stir because she released this article titled "Why I Am Now a Christian," where she explains just that. Yeah, as you can imagine, this is a hot button topic right now. I didn't script anything for this video because it's rather time sensitive, but hopefully my unscripted thoughts are still of some value. A notable thing about this article is that it has nothing to do with her belief in the supernatural at all. She doesn't mention or even allude to that she believes in, much less loves, Jesus or God. Rather, it seems that she has decided to join Christianity because she finds secular approaches to existential questions and political problems to be too ineffective for her. She thinks Christianity is a better toolkit to answer these problems. This paragraph, I think, could be called the thesis of her article. In this nihilistic vacuum, referring to the secular world here, the challenge before us becomes civilizational. We can't withstand China, Russia, and Iran if we can't explain to our populations why it matters that we do. We can't fight woke ideology if we can't defend the civilization that it is determined to destroy. And we can't counter Islamism with purely secular tools. To win the hearts and minds of Muslims here in the West, we have to offer them something more than videos on TikTok. Videos on TikTok is what the secular world offers, apparently. Yeah, never mind the actual giant nonprofit organizations that do actual boots on the ground and legal work and have invited Ayaan to speak for them many times in her career. She also wrote on the secularization of the West, "The result is a world where modern cults prey on the dislocated masses, offering them spurious reasons for being and action, mostly by engaging in virtue-signaling theater on behalf of a victimized minority or our supposedly doomed planet." I gotta say, it's not just me. Other atheists online are very frustrated at this. Now, I have seen some responses that really don't do it for me. Things like, well, Ayaan never understood or truly adopted humanism, the one true answer to the human condition. Or something even more simple like, well, it's obvious that she was never a real atheist. A better, very valid response I've seen to this goes something like, well, secularism actually has been existentially satisfying for plenty of people, and she shouldn't imply that that's not the case just because she doesn't find it personally satisfying enough. Also, secularism actually has successfully established and maintained societies before, and her criticisms of wokeism could be really easily applied to historical movements for justice, like the civil rights movement, women's suffrage, abolition of slavery, and depending on how you want to look at it, maybe even the American Revolution itself. All of these things could be said to have come about because people decided to stand up for victims of injustice and demand that society change. Presumably, Ayaan is cool with all of these historical movements, so it seems inconsistent that she would criticize wokeism in this way. What does wokeism even mean in the first place? I mean, stop being lazy and give an actual example of what you mean and why it's harmful rather than using a buzzword like this. Now, evangelical Christians, they are very happy. This is a big win for them. I've seen some pretty immediate responses saying, "Truly, one day all knees shall bow and every tongue will confess. My prediction that Christianity will overtake atheism is coming true." I've also seen responses like, "Welcome to the family, Ayaan. I'm so glad to hear that you love Jesus like I do." Even though you never actually said that you love Jesus, but we're good. Here's my take on the conversion bit, though. What about Ayaan has actually changed? Have her political positions changed? I don't think so. Have her political allies changed? No, again, I don't think that they have. She just identifies as a Christian now and sees Christianity as a tool to accomplish the political goals that she's already had for quite a while now. Honestly, her conversion in itself is not very interesting. It's not that big of a change, actually. She does not seem to be a substantially different person. What is actually interesting, I think, is what her conversion and the reaction to her conversion tells us about religion in the developed world in 2023. When people leave Christianity, especially evangelical Christians are very quick to say that those people were never true Christians at all, or that their reason for leaving is totally invalid. And yet, without even alluding to the idea that she believes in an actual, literal, dying and rising Jesus Christ, Ayaan is accepted just because she wants to call herself a Christian. This indicates to me, at least, that such Christians care a lot more about a label or conservative politics than they do about anyone actually upholding a specific supernaturalist doctrine. Avowing Christianity is becoming a way to say that you are politically conservative and might have more to do with politics than supernatural beliefs. I don't say this to insult or undermine Christianity in any way. I don't find Christianity more or less valid as a political identity than a spiritual or religious identity. For me, this is a neutral observation about the reality of our culture right now. I mean, atheist, as I've said on my channel many, many times, is, in the context of the US, a political identifier. The vast majority of self-described atheists in the US are politically progressive, and atheists are the most politically active religious identity group in the country. The term atheist does have something to do with believing or not believing in a god, yes, but the political aspect of that term, I think, is just as important sociologically in defining a community and binding people together under one label. This aspect of the term actually motivates me to call myself an atheist, even when I could accurately describe myself as an agnostic. This is also why when someone like Ayaan Hirsi Ali stops identifying as an atheist, I don't really care. I already don't consider myself to be particularly aligned with her because for me, what people actually do, in this case politically, matters way more to me than their metaphysical beliefs or what label they choose to put on that. I mean, when you call advocating for the safety and rights of minorities cult-like behavior, unless I guess you're advocating for ex-Muslims, how does this work? Then I'm going to consider that to be a much bigger issue than whether or not you believe in a god. I would much, much rather work with a self-described Christian who shares common values and goals with me than work with an atheist who doesn't. I think this is very obvious when you take a look at just how many times I have had scholars who happen to be Christian on my channel to advocate for a broader, deeper understanding of biblical texts and social issues. For me, it's not the label, it's what's on the inside that counts. So, do I see Ayaan Hirsi Ali's conversion to Christianity as a big loss for atheism? No. But should I? Let me know in the comments. I know I don't have to ask you, because you'll do it anyway. Alright, thanks for watching. I've been Drew of Genetically Modified Skeptic. Guys, let me know if you liked this unscripted video. Regular video coming next time, but hopefully you enjoyed this. Of course, thank you to my patrons on Patreon for their constant love and support. If you want to hear more from me, then subscribe. As always, if you are an apostate in need, there are resources linked in the description to help you find community and mental health support. Remember to be kind to others in the comments, and until next time, stay skeptical.